Hello everybody, my name is Skybound.
Flex.
And we've just got finished watching episode 9
Well,
of Steins Gate.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? The fact that there was less, okay, so basically it used to be that one of the members was no longer known by half of the group. Well, most of the group, other than him. So, then after one of the emails he sent back, D-mails, they basically remembered her again. So, that's interesting. Well, I also find it interesting the fact that all those cutesy shops are now gone from that area because...
Yeah, so clearly Ferris did something that essentially brought her father back to life.
Yeah.
So whatever mail she sent, she stopped him from dying. Now that's getting into some really...
Well, yeah, because that's getting into the... Okay, this isn't just changing someone's gender.
Which is also a pretty big one, though.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty big one because it means that they would be more likely to be into different sort of things.
But then there's also... But the fact they're bringing someone back to life is that they've now had an effect on the entirety of the city that they live in.
Yeah, because basically, because she's done that, that means that none of those shops are based around the cutesy sort of moe stuff.
And the thing
because she was into that sort of stuff and...
Yeah, pretty much. So when her dad died, she pretty much, she turned the town into that kind of cutesy kind of...
So doesn't that mean that that shop with the, the cat maid shop is no longer there anymore?
Possibly. I mean, they didn't confirm it, but possibly.
Right.
Certainly the shop that sells all the little knickknacks and stuff, that's gone and been replaced with a fan stand of all things.
Well, it seems like to me, or fan shop or something like that, it seems like to me that your initial idea of them moving further and further away of being able to fix this problem is getting true. Because it seems like now they can't even get hold of that machine to decrypt it, and it turns out he hasn't been able to decrypt those messages yet. So while he could be on a different timeline from the one, he'd be on a different timeline to the one where they figured out the jelly melon thing. In fact, they could have solved the time travel problem in the timeline that he's on. So,
well, the thing is, the IBM, the fact that that's gone missing, that's a huge thing. And it wasn't Mocha who took it, because she was looking for it as well.
Yeah.
So, and it's not at the shrine, which really begs the question. Who has that IBM 5100 now?
Is it CERN? Could it be CERN that's got hold of it? If CERN's got hold of it, it could be a big flipping thing.
The thing is though, I would have thought CERN would already have one.
Well, yeah, you would.
I mean, the IBM 5100 was hardly it's not like it wasn't produced on a mass scale or something. I think it's just the age of the computer that finding a working one is so difficult. In reality, if you've got sort of CERN, who are this big government agency, I imagine that they'd be more than capable of obtaining one. Yeah,
so ask the question of why the hell...
But theirs doesn't rely on an IBM, does it?
No,
or at least it doesn't seem to, because they're using the Large Hadron Collider.
They'll all be using the same proprietary language. But it's probably a lot harder to get hold of a machine that's capable of doing that. But the IBM's probably the easiest one for a regular civilian to get hold of, hence the reason why he's trying to find it. So the question is, where the bloody hell's it just gone to?
But the butterfly effect is definitely sort of spanning outwards now.
Yeah.
So, we've gone from, just trying to win some lottery numbers to, right, okay, you've now changed the fate of the entire city that you're living in. And how much further can it really span out? They've brought someone back to life who should be dead.
Yeah, which in itself is the biggest thing ever, because one of the biggest things you can ever do with time travel. I mean, if you've ever watched any of the Doctor Who episodes, there was one particular episode that covered exactly... Yeah, it was Rose.
That was one of the first episodes of the reboot, wasn't it?
It wasn't one of the first ones, but it was in the first series.
The first series...
So in the first series, they actually covered a episode where she brought her dad back to life, And
much like Ferris did.
And yeah, but the difference is there isn't a great big reaper and a car that's constantly driving around the block and then disappearing. Like some kind of stack overflow or null reference point of.
Yeah, so with the way that Ferris did it, presumably something that she said in the message took him away from whatever it was that ended up killing him, which in and of itself is.
Well, yeah, it's clearly a big thing because even if you don't look at the fact that the entire city's been changed from what gets sold there, that would also change the clientele, and that would also. God knows what else he's done. He could have done some other stuff that he wouldn't have been able to do, which could have changed all sorts of things. That is a massive timeline change.
But as more and more D-mails are going to get sent, surely that means things are going to get more and more out of line.
Well, doesn't that mean it could go more and more 1% divergent? But I think things are getting worse, as you said before. I think they are actually getting worse.
Well, I've been thinking, I haven't been keeping track of these numbers. I probably should be keeping track of those numbers, but I think it's creeping further away from 1% divergence, you know?
What? Down?
Because I'm pretty sure it started at something like 5, 6... something.
Yeah.
This time it was something like 4-0 something.
Yeah. So
like it seems to be creeping further, like close to 0% divergence rather than 1% divergence.
Yeah, but the question is divergent from what? Because you're saying 1% divergent, so it's obviously when he's referring to divergent, he's obviously referring to this really bad timeline. So it's obviously getting closer and closer to that. So it's going to get to the point where they're like. It's going to be zero. It's going to be 0.0000 and then 1 and something like that, and they're going to have to bring it back at that point. Otherwise, it's like it. You know, it seems like to me that this. Yeah, I think it's getting worse. The problem is he's definitely making the problems worse, and that's mostly because he's getting other people involved in it.
But then there's also the question: is if sending the D-mails is what's making things worse. How do you kind of stop that? How do you fix that? Because the mails have already been sent. Unless you can somehow go back, like sending a D-mail to the past to send a D-mail to stop a D-mail being sent to the past. Would that create some kind of time paradox kind of thing?
Could you actually do that though? Because how would you stop that from happening? The only way you could do that is if you sent a D-mail to say, go back in time and basically say to him, do not let these people send D-mails, otherwise it will cause problems for you. If he did that, I could see it happen.
Or sending a message to the past saying, destroy this, destroy it now.
Yeah, but if he did that, then he wouldn't be able to get even further away from.
But then that would be even more of a time paradox, isn't it? Because if he said to his past self via a D-mail, destroy this time machine, how did he get that message over to him in the first place?
Well, that would have been because of the many worlds interpretation that they
it'd be really weird.
It'd be weird, but it's essentially how Back to the Future did it, where he basically went back in time and saved Doc Brown. You know, and he changed those by going back into the past, they were able to change a few things. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked. I think, to be fair, yeah, I can see a lot of things coming from that, but I think things are actually getting worse. The tone of the episodes are things getting gradually more and more out of control. So while I don't know what it is, I can kind of get a sort of sense of dread that's coming from this.
And surely at some point CERN is going to pick up on this.
Oh yeah.
They have to. Like, it's not just small things that have changed now, there are massive ripples that are going across the world now. If CERN hasn't picked up on that, and it would not surprise me if CERN is sending out people to stop Okabe and
it wouldn't be
the people in the lab.
It wouldn't be surprising that some of the things going missing may be caused by CERN trying to stop him because he's causing so much destruction.
Yeah, like the IBM 5100 going missing. Maybe CERN took that off him. Maybe like in one of the timelines they actually stole it so that he couldn't get his hands on it. To hopefully to kind of try and prevent this from happening.
But quite clearly it hasn't.
It hasn't worked. But I mean, yeah, that's, which then begs the question: in that case, well, CERN may be the opponent, are they technically the bad guys?
Well,
But we don't really know what their motivations are at the moment, apart from the fact that they've kept the time travel findings sort of secret. They've basically been,
yeah.
they've definitely been taking part in some unethical experiments, like sending humans back in time and killing them as a result with the whole Jellyman thing.
Yeah, well, I think to be fair, that's probably going to become. I can see it's finding out more and more about that, but I have a feeling that somebody has stolen that. Now, it could be himself. If he somehow manages to find a way in the future
to go back into the past and steal the 500 from himself,
yeah, because if he it's been hinted that they're going to be able to get some physical time travel, and if he somehow manages to physically travel back in time, he could nick that machine, find out the information by decrypting it. But the weird thing is, why does he need to decrypt it again? Because I thought he already did that and found out all that stuff.
They decrypted it in one particular timeline, but they needed it to. But in the timeline that he was in, because they'd not found it, they'd never actually decrypted it, and it was Daru who worked it out, not Okabe. I doubt Okabe is much of a programmer, to be honest.
No,
he is just there for Kuristina, mad scientist, kind of thing.
That guy is. I mean, as far as the characters, I'm really enjoying some of the characters in this series. But I have to say, I am interested to find out what the hell's going to happen. I really am.
Well,
anyway,
we'll find out in a future episode, I guess. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed our episode discussion. Hopefully we're on the mark with some things, less on the mark with others. If we are sort of getting close to anything, don't tell us. Don't be like, oh, actually, yeah, you're really close with this one thing. But yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah,
no spoilers.
We are trying to avoid spoilers.
We want to work this out ourselves, damn it. By the time you're watching this, considering how many episodes we currently have on backlog, we've probably already sort of worked it out by the time you comment.
Yeah,
so to be honest,
I'm not even sure when this is going to be released because we're still recording. We've recorded so many. To give you an idea of what time we actually recorded this, we recorded this particular episode on the 20th of October.
2018.
Oh, 2018, yeah.
You know, just in case this comes out in like 2020 or something, you're just like, hi guys, yeah, we're from the past.
Yeah, so, well, it will be from the past by the time this thing comes out.
Also, I've just had a thought, like, this is technically slightly MLP related, but I'm just remembering, like, when future Twilight comes back in time to warn current Twilight not to do something.
Oh God!
And he just fades away. Like, imagine that there's just another Okabe appears with like an eye patch and like the full sort of Solid Snake look.
You think he's not already crazy?
Okabe.
You don't think he's already crazy enough?
Hyoin Kyoma. I am Hyoin Kyoma.
You do realise that just makes him even more crazy? Especially considering in that episode it turns out everything was perfectly fine. So it could be him just coming back in time to say, yeah, you kind of fucked up here because you didn't need to do a damn thing. CERN they found out they couldn't actually time travel back in time and actually affect the past, but you actually managed to fucking do it and screw it up.
It's just it's fun stuff. But anyway,
ramble. We've just rambled.
Yeah, rambled. Anyway, I'm Skybound.
Starflex.
And we'll see you for the next episode of Steins Gate, which will be episode 10,
whenever the hell it comes out.
Which is probably somewhere around the point where shit starts to get.
Oh, is it episode 10 next?
Yes.
Oh, that's to make things interesting.
Right. Okay. Well, for the time being, see you later.
Yeah.